say all the games yet or no?
Just shows the first two.
That's all we confirmed.
Okay.
I'll take a picture of myself.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, Saturday, Sunday, 7:30, Sackville.
Two slots. Yeah, I only got 64, so you know they're fresh.
welcome everybody back to lacrosse, coming to you from the Lions Arena in Spryfield, Nova Scotia, as Game 3 is about to get on their way of the Junior A female final. As see Allison getting some equipment and heading back to the Halifax bench right away. Thanks for having me back, Brendan.
Oh, it's great having you here. I think we did a great job last time. Excited to do this again for number 3. We got some, it'll be a great matchup, tied 1-1 going into Game 3. A big key one here to take the series lead before they go back to Sackville.
That's it. Best of 5 series, so I guess whoever wins tonight, the losers in elimination territory.
The winner's got an exciting game on Wednesday, and the loser's got to make some big updates from there. So it's going to be a really exciting series. I'm excited to see if the Hurricanes this time can get in tight and be on the crease, where they were having some success in Game 1. They weren't able to get there from the Wolves defense last time. We'll see if they've made that adjustment.
Well, here we go. They're lined up. Dyer versus Jollymore at the face-off. Dyer wins it clean, runs into a wall as Minio is right in there after it. Loose ball. Picked up by Baker. Still loose as Mullen chops at it. Picked up by Hamilton. For the Wolves, Hamilton setting up the offense. Hamilton shot over the crossbar. That's picked up by Davis for the Hurricanes. Davis back down the floor. Davis passes that one up to Baker. Baker trying to drive in. Maddie Hamilton able to pry that ball loose, and loose ball along the boards. There's 2 Wolves, 2 Hurricanes in there fighting for it. Ball comes into the crease violation, free ball as Van Bilzen comes down the floor for the Wolves. Van Bilzen holds up, setting up the offense. Shot in, that goes wide, and that's back over center.
Going back over there early on. I noticed she called Baker's name twice in the first shift. She wasn't in Saturday's game, but in tonight you can see her already making an impact.
Rayfuse gives Taylor a bump. Taylor around behind the net for Halifax. Taylor passes it up top to Lorette. Lorette, Hovey. There's a little back check from behind. Right over to Garden. Garden puts the shot in. A save by Martin. First save of the game.
Good start by both goalies, making some great saves early on. Exactly how you want to get started.
Hanrahan up over center. Hanrahan holds up. Passes down to the corner for Dietrich. Dietrich able to hold that ball. Good job. Dietrich behind the back pass over to Dyer. Dyer in with the shot. And a save by Nagel. And Coffin gets the rebound. Another big save by Nagel. Coffin passes across for Dyer. Dyer, sidearm, just misses the side of the net. Coffin comes up with the rebound. Coffin passes over to Mullen. Mullen down to the corner for Dietrich. Dietrich rolls up top. Dietrich turns, fires. That's over the crossbar. And that funny bounce.
Great transition there. Wolves getting the ball moving back and forth, getting some great shots. Exactly how they wanted to start the game.
Allison just misses Lorette as Lorette picks up the ball off the boards. Lorette cycles back up top, being watched by Coffin. Passed over for Christie. Christie looking for the front of the crease for Davis. Doesn't connect. Jollymore turns, fires. High shot, saved by Martin. As Haas to the boards after it. Haas comes up with it.
You could see there on that possession, the Hurricanes trying to get in tight to work their way over top of Martin. Unable to connect on that, but obviously what they're looking for to be able to make that dunk over top of her. And then she made a great high save over the shoulder as well.
Good. Baker trying to work her way over center. Hovey able to check, pops the ball free. Baker still going after the loose ball. Comes up to Jollymore. Jollymore rolls off a hit. Jollymore. That's the Garden working. Garden comes up with it. Garden. Cross. Low shot in by Jollymore. That misses. And that'll be a up and out of play. Free ball to the Wolves.
Just missing there. We also didn't note at the start that number 11, Rachel Cormier, is not in the lineup tonight for the Hurricanes. Unable to play tonight, which is too bad. But the others will have to step up. Baker's already played a big role early on.
Is down into the zone. Jollymore able to pick that pass up. Up to it, Igminio. Rayfuse popped that one free. Picked up on the run by Van Bilzen. Van Bilzen passes across to Hannerhan. Hannerhan has to take that off the glass. Hannerhan looking for, finds a lane in. Hannerhan with the shot. And a save by Nagel. As Allison will pick that up and back down the floor. Held up there by Dyer. Allison fights that off. Allison passes off to the corner for Igminio. Pass across. And Lorette in. And
nice save by Martin there. Good movement by the Hurricanes. East to west twice there. Had Martin moving back and forth exactly how you want to do it, but she came up strong with the glove hand there. Excellent save.
Bowles passes up to Haas. Haas on the forecheck there is Lorette, and the 10 seconds expires, and it'll be a free ball to Halifax in the offensive zone.
And make sure they're getting that out and move it up. Coach McNeil will want to see stronger than that next time out.
Lorette passes up top to Baker. Baker pass a little high. Allison takes that off the glass. Loose ball picked up by Dyer. Dyer heading back down the floor for the Wolves. Dyer looking for a lane in with the shot. And Nagel comes across, makes the save. Nagel, long pass. As Baker all the way back down in. Hovey fighting for that loose ball. Baker comes up with it. Baker turns, fires, and scores.
Baker making an impact early. We talked about her not being in the lineup in the last one, and Cormier not being in tonight, and someone needing to step up. She's been all over the place. Ended up picking up a loose ball. I think there was a little bit of a screen on the shot. Was able to beat top corner over the stick, exactly where there she was looking to go. Nice shot on that. Hurricanes get out to an early lead, so really good start with that. I just wanted to note there on the Dwyer rush, I don't think she realized that she had 4 people with her and actually could have moved the ball a little bit of that, first time being in the playoffs and what that's like. A little bit of inexperience there, but next time I'm sure they talk to her about looking for the other partners that are there.
All right, Halifax into the Wolves zone. Jellymore picks up, shot, that's high. As the ball comes back over center, that'll be Wolves ball.
I got to say, we're definitely seeing a different Hurricanes team tonight. More aggressive, more physical. They seemed a little bit quieter in game 2, but a little bit more aggressive out there. Wolves got to respond. Lots of time early on.
Rosson passes up to Haas. Haas. Cross for Hovey. Hovey rolls up top. Hovey looking for some options. Gets a pick from James. Another pick from Hamilton, but ball gets popped out of Hovey's basket. She comes back, picks it up again. 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Hovey rolls a low shot in. Hamilton to James. James, 5 seconds. James turns, fires, gets it on net, resets the clock. But Taylor right there to pick it up for Halifax.
Good attempt. You got 3 seconds left on that. Take a quick shot. Maybe she was catcher looking on that. Great offense by the Wolves there.
Jollymore, bring it in. Jollymore driving to the net. Shot. That goes wide. Comes right back to Jollymore. Up top, Jollymore passes across for Christie. Allison doesn't make the connection on the pass. A nice scoop up there by Hamilton. Hamilton.
Good decision to wait for the offense on that one. She had 2 Hurricanes back, didn't press it, waited for her other 5 to get out there. They're going to get an opportunity to full set here.
Loose ball comes right in front, and that's picked up by Christie for Halifax. Halifax bringing the ball out of the zone. Dyer pressing the play. Dyer able to pop the ball free. At Davis charges in along the boards. That's a bump from behind, and that'll be be Halifax ball.
Little push on the back there without the ball. Getting a full reset.
Baker in with a hard shot. Rebound. Chambers fighting for that ball. Dyer comes up with it. Dyer. As Lorette able to pop that one free. Baker comes back up with it. As Hart fighting for that ball. Baker up with it again. Baker passes to the corner just over Hope's head. Loose ball. Davis comes in after. Dyer able to knock it away. But cross for Lorette. Lorette rolls off a hit. Lorette in with a shot off the crossbar. And stays out. As McPherson coming back down the floor for the Wolves. Ball pops free. Davis picks that up. Davis rolls off a hit along the boards. Davis, watch, is Van Bilzen able to pop that one free. Van Bilzen picks it up. Van Bilzen in a low shot. And a save by Nagel.
In alone. I don't know if you saw that, but the bench yelled heads up because she was about to get run over. And it startled her. She dropped the ball, and Van Pelsen had a chance but wasn't able to bury it.
Mino in alone. Shot just wide. I was tempted to say heads up myself there. You see that coming.
End-to-end action here. You got to love it, going back and forth both ways.
Haas brings it into the Halifax zone. Haas looking across for Hovey on the doorstep. Pass doesn't connect as Nagel will pick up the ball.
I think this fast pace favors the Wolves for sure with the longer bench. So I think they'll play the back and forth game all day.
As Hamilton chases the loose ball in her own zone. Garden puts a check. Hamilton able to box out and get Hamilton coming back down the zone. Watching the back check as Hamilton rolls it to Dietrich. Dietrich for the Wolves now. As Dietrich rolls back up top. Looking for a pass. Cross to Hovey. Hovey. Shot goes wild, and that's up and out of play. That'll be Halifax's ball.
You see there on the top a little bit of a tap on the helmet. She was going for the stick and missed a little bit. Referees are letting them play. This is the finals. You got to let those things go.
Allison brings it in for Halifax into the Wolves zone. Allison from the boards. Looking for a lane. Van Bilzen pushes him out. Up top to Baker. Baker. Pass that back down low to Allison. Allison puts a shot in. That deflects wide. Ball bounces right out dangerously in front. Lorette picks it up, turns, fires, and Martin makes the save. Chambers picks up the rebound. Chambers coming back down for the Wolves. Chambers gets over center. Passes it down. Coming across, I think that's Mullen. Mullen. Cross for Hamilton. Hamilton trying to get around Christie. Gets the pick from Van Bilzen, but shot goes wide. Mullen now. Up top for Hamilton. Hamilton. That's checked by Lorette. And loose ball picked up by Baker. As Baker muscles her way into the Wolves zone. As Van Bilzen stays on her. Baker pass across. That goes up off the glass at Minia. As Haas comes in, but the ball popped free again. Hannerhan able to pick it up.
Got to hurry here.
As ball pops free, but makes it over center. The Halifax really stuffing the Wolves at the center.
Really aggressive on the transition in the first period.
Yeah, there's a penalty coming there. As
calling a cross check. I think she felt it right up and got her in the neck there. Morgan Faircloth making that call from the corner. One of those that was in tight. So when you get in the little cluster there, you'll see it. Wolves are really got to get this transition down. They're having a little bit of a slow time trying to get there and making sure they're getting over in 10 seconds in terms of that. Really collapsing in the middle to make sure they're not getting those second chances, which is good to see, but I'm sure Coach McNeil would like to see them push it up the floor a little bit. It seems to be one person running instead of the team kind of coordinating. You'll see one player trying to run it all the way up instead of them spreading and using the floor, which is definitely what Coach McNeil would like to see. But opportunity for the Hurricanes to extend this. I think last night, on Saturday night, though, was a couple shorthanded goals, so got to make sure you take care of your own end when you have these situations as well.
Yeah. So 1-0, Halifax leads, and they're starting off on the power play here. 5-on-4 advantage for 2 minutes as Davis plays it down. Baker back up to Davis. Back to Taylor. In motion now. Taylor passes across for Baker. Baker looking to make a lane. Baker puts the shot in. That goes wide. Rebound off the backboards. Come back to Taylor. 14 seconds left on the shot clock. Down low to Davis. Up to Taylor. Taylor down to Baker. Baker being watched by Hart. Taylor with a shot. And nice save there by Martin. And clearing shot goes wild. As and Halifax able to break down on James as I think we're going to run out. Yep.
Yeah, I think that just fell to the back of her stick as she was trying to pull off the trigger to go down the floor. It happens. One of those things, but got a chance to reset here.
Jollymore will start off Halifax from the corner. Jollymore rolls up top, passes up top to Taylor. Taylor across for Baker. Baker down low for Davis. Baker goes in motion. Back up to Taylor at the top. Taylor looks for a lane. Cross for Jollymore as Hovey tries the wraparound. Jollymore back down to Baker. Baker rolling in, cross for Jollymore. Jollymore right there, low shot, that goes wide.
We're back over with no
Deflects
touch.
Back over.
46 seconds. Wolves can kill off a lot of time here if they can hold it for 30. You know, I got to say, Larry, I'm really surprised that there was not an adjustment between game 2 and 3 and that the Hurricanes aren't putting someone right in front of the net almost as the screen. Getting in tight has been where they've seen success, and just working around the outside, Martin's been excellent. You got to get that in tight, so I wonder if they'll make that change in the second.
Dyer knocked off her stick. Coming down, Coffin challenges Lorette. Able to pop the ball free, loose ball. As Garden fighting for it. Singer right in there. That's picked up by Taylor for Halifax. Has the ball. Taylor passes across to Allison. Allison coming in now. 14 seconds left in the penalty as that shot gets blocked. Allison able to come back up with again. Long shot, and the Wolves D knocked that one down. And
I think there was supposed to be a reset there because I thought that shot went off the goalie and they waved it off. So I think a little mistake on the clock there, which allowed her to take that shot.
Dyer in with a shot and right off. Nagel uses her head, keeps it out. Pass across to Coffin on the doorstep. Coffin rolls back up top. Coffin now. Cross for Dietrich. Dietrich. Christie stops her there. Dietrich looking for some help. Dietrich. Cross for Coffin. Coffin puts the shot in, and that's a nice save by Nagel and picked up by Allison. But Van Bilsen lays out Allison, pops the ball free, and the ball goes up and out of play.
Unfortunately, it's going to get turned back over, but that was great pressure by the Wolves. All three collapsed, made sure that ball came out and picked it up. Great pressure by the Wolves.
Garden passes across for Egamino. Egamino down for Davis. Davis in with the shot, and Martin makes that save. Picked up by McPherson. McPherson coming back down the floor. McPherson passes up to Hovey. Hovey gets it out on the run. Hovey crosses across. Hovey with the shot, and a save there by Nagel. James picks the ball back up. Cross for Dyer. Dyer's got a fresh clock to work with. Dyer in with the shot. That just goes wide and bounces up and out of play.
Hovey made an excellent drive through there, but what I got to say is she's going through and then going to her wrong side. She's got to shoot before she's on the wrong side of the floor, and if she does, she should be trying to make the pass across. There was a Wolf standing right on the crease that would have come back across, and Nagel would have no chance of getting over to that. So recognizing where you are on the floor.
Baker right to the doorstep. That's knocked away by Haas as they battle for it. Baker comes back up with it. Baker pass for Jollymore. Haas able to pick that one up. Haas coming down the floor. Haas trying to make Baker guess which way she's going. Haas will dump it in behind the net, and that's picked up by Jollymore for Halifax.
Oh, got a delayed one on the Wolves there. A little bit of a high hit on that pass.
Oh.
Van Billen, you're questioning what that was, but I think she knows. She was just hoping to be able to get away with it a little bit, but unfortunately right in front of the official on that one, which is too bad. The Hurricanes are going to get another chance on that one. Yeah, I was saying, as we were talking about going to her across, you saw her wide open on the crease too, and waiting for that pass there. So I'm sure they talked about it on the bench.
Halifax on a 2-minute power play here. Taylor up top. Taylor cross for Lorette, doesn't connect. Jollymore will pick it up from the corner. 16 seconds left on the shot clock. Jollymore back up top to Baker. Baker immediately pressured. Baker back to Jollymore, but that gets knocked free. Baker up with it. 3 seconds. Baker puts the long shot in. Nice block there.
Wolves penalty kill doing a great job of getting on their hands as soon as they touch the ball, and it's making them come back out and not able to get that shot. Great job on the short man there.
Dyer lurking in behind on the Halifax. And Halifax will pick up the loose ball as James pressures. Lorette comes in for Halifax. Lorette passes across for Igmino. Igmino pass across, looking to get back to Lorette. Doesn't connect. Lorette takes it off the glass as Hamilton, Lorette in. Hamilton chops the stick out of her hands. And Jollymore able to collect it. Agamino puts the shot in, and Martin makes the save as the ball's popped loose again. As Christie comes up with it. Christie passes that across for Lorette. Lorette rolls off, shot, and I think that was off the post.
Definitely off the post. Referee had the signal there.
Lorette, Agamino, down to Garden. Garden puts the shot in. Another save by Martin. As James comes up with the ball. And James. He's got to get over center. As James comes down and she runs out of time.
So they got 14 on the Hurricanes for an illegal cross-check. I didn't see that there. I think she might have been in the crease. What you'll notice is when the Wolves get the ball in the short man and they pick it up right in front, you'll see the Hurricanes collapse on them. What they're trying to do is force her to step back in the crease, so it's a back in every time, and then get the ball back. The Wolves have done a good job of making sure. Some people might question, why did she just throw that ball when she was right in front? It's because she was about to fall back in, so she was trying to get rid of the ball, so her team had another chance at it, and they did. They ended up picking it up and bringing it out. Got a power play from that. So we're going to play 4-on-4 for 14 seconds for the Wolves have a power play.
James starting off the Wolves. Pass across for Mullen. Mullen. Looking to get back to James. Pass doesn't connect. Coffin comes up with it. Coffin. Over Dyer. Dyer. Low shot in. Saved by Nagel. Ball comes to the boards. Jollymore right in there after.
Wolves are on the power play now.
Picked up by Baker. Baker coming down the floor on the penalty kill. Baker looking to slow it down. James trying to get the can opener in there. It's a little job by Coffin. And James comes up with the ball. James passes it down. But Dyer was being watched. And Taylor picks that one up on the run. Taylor back into the Wolves zone as Dietrich gives her a bump. Taylor slows it down, killing off the time on the penalty as Haas keeps him in. Haas able to get up to the ball. Back down the floor. Under a minute left in the power play for the Wolves as Hovey brings that one down. Hovey. Allison on her right away. Back across to Hamilton. Doesn't connect as Taylor puts that ball back over center.
No back over on that one because it was the Hurricane player that knocked it back over, which is why both referees waved it off immediately.
Now Van Bilzen hands it off to Hamilton. Hamilton for the Wolves walks it in. Hamilton passes over for Mullen. Mullen down to Dyer. Dyer rolls back up top. Cross for Van Bilzen. Van Bilzen comes in, sidearm, and a save there by Nagel. Loose ball as Agamino will pick that up and out for Halifax. Dyer, what's that? 10 seconds expires.
We're going back to 5-on-5 there. I got to say, I was a little surprised that the Wolves rushed that. They should have just killed off the 14 seconds in my mind and then gone to the power play, but they were pushing it just a little too bit. I think that caused them not to have the opportunity to set up.
Ellison gets the loose ball and sends it all the way down the floor. Garden in there tight. Garden rolls across, shot. That goes wide. Rebound comes off. As Rafey's got that loose ball. Lorette right in. Over the net as they battle for the loose ball in front. Nice little snag by Dietrich. Dietrich takes one off the chin, coming down the floor. Dietrich driving to the net as Hope pushes her in behind. Dietrich coming around, runs into a wall. Dietrich passes back up to Van Bilzen. Van Bilzen looking for a way to get around Lorette. Van Bilzen in tight. Van Bilzen shoots, scores!
Big shot from the outside. Perfect pick. Right on the top, came around. Instead of trying to go all the way in, Van Bilzen shoots it around the defender, which has a second that Nagel can't pick it up and be able to put it right by her knee. Knee is the smallest part where they're in and put it right down the side. Absolutely beautiful play, beautiful pick on the top. It's interesting, the Hurricanes have been more aggressive on the ball carrier, and that they took advantage of by taking the pick, having her come around and be wide open. Another beautiful spot. When you need a goal, you turn to your captain, and who comes through again? Game 2 and Game 3 both times.
Yeah, no, it's 1-1 and under a minute to go in the first period. As it's Dyer versus Jollymore. Dyer comes up with it. Dyer heading it Rolls it off to Mullen. That bounces away. Dyer comes back for it. Dyer up with the ball. Pass across for Hamilton. Hamilton in with the bounce shot. That's a save by Nagel and up and out of play.
Off the goalie, going to stay with the Wolves in this one. 40 seconds to go.
Van Bilzen passes up top to Mullen. Mullen down low to Dyer. Dyer comes in with a shot. And Nagel makes the save. Baker fires at the length of the floor. Off the referee and into the corners. Hamilton. Jollymore.
Doing a little tap dance in there, was he?
Yeah. Taylor working for that loose ball. 10 seconds left. Chambers looking to roll it out of the zone if she can't get out any other way. And it's Allison. Hold it, and that's it for the first period.
What a great first period for both sides. I think they both wanted to do what they were hoping to do. Interesting. I didn't mention on the goal, but number 71 for the Wolves there had a turnover right in front of her own net. But instead of giving up on the play, she completely hustled and got back in, knocked her stick away to make the shot go wide, which turned into a goal. So sometimes they always talk about those hustle plays making a difference. It was probably 20 seconds before they scored the goal and no one thinks about it. But if she gets a clear shot and that goes in, it's 2-0. Instead, it's now 1-1 on the same play right there. So those hustle plays, I know Coach McNeil talks about with his team a lot about never giving up, and that right there showed exactly what happens when you don't give up and then it comes back up the floor. So working on both ends is unbelievable. I think both teams have been happy with that. What you see in the first?
Well, that's awesome because I know I know Gemma's family's watching this right now.
Oh, great.
So Miss Ray Fuse, you have some pride there.
Very much so.
Great job.
One of those things is she won't get an assist on that, but from every coach, that was the biggest assist possible. Being able to hustle back and make sure that she stripped that ball, made it go wide, and then come back up the floor. Those are the hustle plays that make the difference between winning and losing a championship right there. 2-0, 1-1. Big difference when you're going in the second. Momentum back with the Wolves. It's the second time they've scored in the last minutes to be able to turn it around. They did this in Game 2 and got right back in the game. So can't say more than that.
No, I guess the Wolves have to be happy with their performance. I see Halifax seems to be back to their core game, try to drive that middle, drive to the middle. And
they're really trying to get closer to the goalie. Like that opportunity to shoot over top of her is what they're looking for, and trying to move it right in, exactly what you said, drive to the middle. They've been a little bit stronger on loose balls tonight. I thought they've kind of out-hustled the Wolves a little bit on those in terms of the body position and blocking out. I'm sure the Wolves will want to improve on that for sure in the second period, as there's a couple second chance opportunities that they wouldn't like to see, and a little bit stronger on the clears. But some really nice pressure by the Wolves, which we didn't see in Game 2. When the Hurricanes pick up the ball, they've got two girls on her and cause some turnovers and some opportunities. And so keep pressuring that, especially in the long change period. You're going to continue to get some opportunities. So a little bit of a change of game plan to throw something new they weren't expecting, I think threw them off a little bit. So good decision in terms of that. I still would love to see the Hurricanes put someone right in the middle on the power play. I know that's not typically how you set up, but I just feel like it'll throw them right off and create some more opportunities that they're not thinking about, and get them really in tight. But they're definitely working it around the outside, and Martin's been strong on everything from the outside. So they're not getting any of those chances when they're out there.
So since Saturday, how are things going on the co-ed side of the?
Well, so on the co-ed side, we had an exciting one on Sunday afternoon, where the St. John Rapids took down the Halifax Hurricanes. I believe the score was 11-8 in the end. It was 8-8 going into the third, and a couple goals by the St. John Rapids, and then their goalie, Noah Fletcher, made some huge saves on some breakaways and kept that apart. So that finished off that series. So we're now looking at the Sackville Wolves and St. John Rapids going into the finals on the co-ed side. That series is actually going to start on Saturday at 7:30 in the Sackville Arena, and then also be Sunday on 7:30 at the Sackville Arena, which is right after the MML Championships. That's the Day of Champions. So be able to nice to see a Game 2 in terms of that. The schedule in St. John is just being finalized now. So the next weekend they'll play Game 3 and 4 in St. John, and we'll just work on finalizing that. But excited to see that move on in terms of making it to the finals and catching up with this. This is actually the second time that there's a chance that you could have the same female and co-ed winners. So 2 years ago, the first year that the female league started, the Halifax Hurricanes won both female and male, and this time we have the Wolves and the Wolves on both sides in the final. So opportunity for that. Last year, both Halifax had the same chance again, but the Breakers ruined the party on that one in Game 3 after going up 1-0. They came back and won 2 in a row to take that one. So it'll be interesting to see how both of those series work out. And I know the Wolves wouldn't mind that on their 50th year. Not a too bad ending to a 50th year and having that, but still a long way to go before we get there. And I know Steve Brown wouldn't want me saying too much as we're still a little ways away, but I know it's in the back of his mind, but he won't say it out loud.
Yeah. Because what was the standings on the co-ed side in the end? Was that,
so you got number 1 and number 2. So the Wolves finished off the season at number 1 and St. John Rapids at number 2. So you've got the two teams that finished off in the top facing off against each other. The Wolves swept the Bandits in 3 games in a solid series, and then the St. John and Halifax one went to 4. Really great series there. The first 2 games, first one was double overtime. The second one was won in the last minute, and Game 3 was won in the last 2 seconds by the Halifax Hurricanes, and then the last one was a bit more of a spread, but overall, that series could have been a 3-game sweep either way for how those first 3 games went. But the Rapids just seemed to be able to come out on top in a few of them, which is to their credit. And I know they're excited to move on to the next round. It is such a different series when you play St. John because the games are on the weekend. So, here we had a game on Saturday night and now on Monday. So you have one day to make adjustments and try to figure out how you're going to react to what they did and change. When you're in a series where you play 2 on the weekend, then you play the next weekend, you have 5 days to think about it. So one of the interesting things was Halifax lost both games in heartbreaking situations, double overtime. You lose by 1 in double overtime, then you lose in the last minute. Most times that would end you in a series. If you're playing 2 games, you got 1 more game. But they got 5 days to reset, get away from lacrosse, stop thinking about it, then had a practice, then came back out on the floor, and it was like a whole new thing. So it's a really reset when you got 2 games really tight, which most teams aren't used to, and then you have this big reset. So it gives you an opportunity to adjust how you're thinking, adjust how you're planning, and attack a team differently. So, but also with the 2-2. If you don't take one on the road, it's very challenging when you get to come back home. So you want to make sure that the Wolves are wanting to make sure they win both at home, and the Rapids are looking to at least go 1-1, if not 2-0 in that. I know they, in their semifinal where they had their first 2 at home, really didn't want to give up one of those 2 because it would have been tough going back home 1-1, or coming to Halifax 1-1, but really great in terms of that. So, so exciting. Now, something new that we haven't even talked about yet that's just going to be announced tomorrow. So for the first time ever, the Junior A females are going to have an all-star game this year, which is going to be played Sunday at 2 p.m. at the RBC Center. And so each team has selected 6 players as their all-stars. We're going to have the first ever all-star game right at the end of the season. So excited to be able to do that. First time it's ever happened in the Junior A League. It's never happened on either side. But just kind of the timing of everything working out, it's kind of come together in terms of that. And all the teams and the players are excited who are being part of that. They're actually just being told today for the ones that are part of it. So it's going to be really exciting. And that's actually when we're going to hand out the awards for the year. So opportunity to see Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, Goalie of the Year, First Team All-Star, Second Team All-Star. You got Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, and also Indigenous Player of the Year. So a lot of great things are going to be happening on Sunday. MML Day Championships, All-Star Game, and then also a men's game as well. So it's going to be a very busy day here in the city for sure. I'm going to be all over the place. Well, then not to say that we're done, because this year making a change on the female side on Monday nights, so 7 days from today, we'll be having the female combine followed by the draft. Usually we don't do it till February, but this year we wanted to bring it together and have their teams more connected and know what team you're on a little bit earlier. So 7 to 8 in the Sackville Arena will be the combine. So any U17 player who's graduating into Junior A will have an opportunity to show their skills in front of the crowd. And then following that, about 30 minutes later at 8:30, we're going to start the draft. So the draft is virtual, so just done through the coaches, but within 24 hours of the season ending, you're going to know where your kids are playing, which is kind of exciting, and I think it'll build more team chemistry with the teams.
Oh, I thought that was a great idea, too, when I saw it, because it's usually like in February, isn't it? so players don't know where they're going to play in between. And also, you got them at the height of their game. They've been practicing. There's no rust. Like, there should be very little rust anyways.
Well, you know,
so they can actually show coaches what they can do.
And you talk about what hockey started to do. They've started to do tryouts the year before because, as you said, that's when they're at peak performance and you want to see what they can do instead of at the start of the season where they got to shake off the rust. So definitely true in terms of what you're able to see from the players in terms of that and the opportunity to build camaraderie with your team even longer. You know, the Dartmouth Bandits are going to have the first overall pick, so be interesting to see who they're going to take. And then the last pick hasn't been decided yet because we got to see what happens in this series to figure out who has the last pick, but it'll be interesting from that. But you're going to see Dartmouth going first, Eastern Shore going second. St. John Rapids aren't part of the draft. They have all the players from New Brunswick, but then we'll be deciding the third and the fourth pick based on this situation here. And it looks like they're coming back out. We talked that whole 10 minutes there.
There you go.
No shortage of things to talk about in this great action.
Well, that's just it. When you're talking lacrosse, we can just keep going all night.
We totally could. Totally could.
Game keeps getting in our way here, though.
I mean, everybody watching probably thinks we talk about before we get here. We literally just show up and have a conversation, and that's how it rolls, and that's how it works in the community, right? You talk to anybody about lacrosse all the time.
Well, here we go. Second period, game 3 of the Junior A female East Coast Junior Lacrosse League final. About to start here as it's a 1-1 game. 20 minutes back on the clock.
So this is where you're going to want to watch the Hurricanes pressure. Second period has always been where they pressure, and they stick a player in the middle here to pick off any long passes. They couldn't figure that out in the last game. We'll see if they're able to be successful this time around.
Ball pops free. Heads to the boards.
Calling too many men there. She was on the floor too early. And then giving the ball to the Hurricanes there.
Dyer puts a check. Dyer coming down the floor in behind. Taylor chasing. Dyer in, shoot! And that's off the backboards into the net. It was a miss. That was
a little wide on that. Dwyer has to come across that. You have to make Nagel move. You cannot just have her set and try to fake on her. You got to get her moving laterally. It's the way you're going to beat her. So I'm sure she'd like that back again. I see her slamming her stick on the bench. If she gets another chance, she'll approach that differently.
Lorette passes back to Allison. Allison held up Van Bilzen. Keep an eye on her. Allison looking for a lane in. Allison. A little bit of a stumble. Allison puts a hard angle shot in. Saved by and back up, but ball comes loose again as Allison comes up with it. Allison. Cross to Egamino. Egamino trying to cut back across. Pushed outside by McPherson. And now, ball picked up by Van Bilzen. Van Bilzen heading down the floor. Long pass, looking to catch Hovey right in front. A little low, can't quite snag that.
Yeah, just a little bit low on that. She had her coming out the door, but had to one-hop it, unfortunately.
Lorette trying to drive her way in. Lorette can't get through, and Haas will pick up the loose ball. Nora Haas hustling down the floor. Haas. Hold up now, looking to set up the offense, passes across. But James couldn't pick that one off the floor. Hovey does though, Hovey puts the shot in, that goes wide. Now come back
Great
over.
decision there by the Wolves defender to turn. There wasn't an opportunity to slow it down, get it set up, get your offense out there. Excellent play. I heard somebody from the bench yell, she turned immediately, put it off. Excellent job by the Wolves defender.
Garden passes up to Baker, Baker. Rolls up top. Baker looks at her options. Pass over Christie. Christie. Over for Garden. Back to Baker. Back over to Jollymore. Just gets stick checked. The shot goes high. Christie will pick it up with 10 seconds left. Christie. Hart puts a check on her. Gets it to Baker. Baker looking for a lane. Baker puts a long shot in. And that's a save as Chambers rolls it to the corner. But Jollymore comes up with it, fresh 30 as Halifax continues to pressure. Hart puts a hit on her. Jollymore able to roll off, put the shot, and the loose ball.
Great protection by the Wolves there. That was rolling. She made sure. But that's twice there that they haven't been able to clear in the first 3 minutes of the period. So they're going to have to tighten that up. The Hurricanes are adding the pressure.
Hannerhan passes that off to Mullen. Mullen Cross for Coffin. Coffin can't quite get the handle. Van Bilzen does, puts the shot, quick shot in. And Nagel got the shoulder up and make the save. Fresh 30 on the clock as Mullen comes in hard, fires a shot in, and Nagel fishes that one out. There's a pass up to that high, but doesn't make contact as McPherson. That gets off her, loose ball. Baker right in tight. Baker, the goal scorer for Halifax. Passes back across for Davis. Ball popped free by Kaufman. The loose ball and a shot. Miss. Another miss. As Taylor will pick it up for Halifax. 7 seconds left in the shot clock. Taylor goes in with a shot. A save there by Martin. As Martin pops that up to Coffin. Coffin comes back down the floor. Coffin. Hands off to Dietrich. Dietrich has a look as the rest of the offense comes on. Dietrich passes up to Mullen. Mullen. Cross for Hamilton. Hamilton in with a shot. And oh, the ball just trickles out the side. Baker, quick up to Taylor. Taylor back down the floor as being pushed out by Rayfuse. Taylor hands it off, goes for the bench. As Garden pass back across for Lorette. Lorette has a look. Pass back across for Davis, and that's Egamino. As Rayfuse jumps in and gets that rebound. Coming down the floor for Wolves. Rayfuse all the way into the zone. Rayfuse passes back across, but that's picked off. In all alone is Egamino. Egamino in, shoot! Nice save by Martin.
Save by Martin. Big save there. Excellent read by the Hurricanes. She had that read all the way, but Martin had her picked all the way, knew exactly where she was going.
Hamilton fighting for the loose ball. But 10 seconds in the zone. Halifax, free ball. Right in tight, shot. Oh, off the back crossbar. As Young passes that up to Garden. Garden. But that comes back across.
That's exactly what the Hurricanes want to do. Get in tight and go over the shoulder. Just hit the bar. I think he hit both posts on that one. It came out, but I'll take it.
Van Bilzen in with the hard shot. Van Bilzen picks up a rebound from the corner. Van Bilzen up to Dyer. Dyer in with the low shot. Another save by Nagel as Dietrich picks this one up. Dietrich comes across. Dietrich trying to roll off. Dietrich in with a shot. That goes wide. Dyer comes up with it. Dyer with a shot. Wolves just doing rapid fire here. Is across to Van Bilzen. Van Bilzen. Hard shot in. Save. Dietrich right on the doorstep. Coffin comes up with the ball. Coffin rolling out from the corner. Coffin passes across for Dyer. Dyer's got to pull that one in. Dyer coming across. Dyer shot. Bounces over the net. And Nagel.
Great shooting by the Wolves there. The only thing I got to say is they're not changing their plane. So you can see when Dwyer shoots, she comes below her knee and keeps the ball there. You have to raise it up a bit so it changes the plane on Nagel a little bit. But they'll get better at that as they keep going. But a lot of great opportunities there. I thought they had one there right in close. I thought they were just going to beat her.
Haas for the Wolves. Goes down low. Haas back up for Mullen. Mullen gets the shot in. That's safe. As Haas loses her stick for a moment. Halifax coming out of the zone as Taylor is held up by Hamilton. Rayfuse puts a check on.
The Wolves are doing a phenomenal job of checking at the elbow and on the lower hand, and so that they have to take one hand off to take a shot and can't get any power behind it. Defense has been phenomenal. They're not swinging sticks. They're playing the body and hitting the elbow. Exactly how you do it.
Hamilton pops that one free. Loose ball picked up by Lorette. Lorette, 20 seconds left in the back down to Allison. Allison as McPherson keeps her to the outside. Allison puts a long shot in and wide. And that's picked up by Hannerhan. Hannerhan coming back down the floor for the Wolves. Hannerhan.
Delayed penalty coming to the Halifax here. On a slash. I think as they were coming off, took a slash on her as she was going by her. And Maurice caught that as she went by. So Wolves, after some pressure now, are going to get a good opportunity on the power play to take the lead here. So I'm sure this is an important 2 minutes for them here.
Wolves on the 5-on-4 advantage as James passes that off to Mullen. Mullen down low to Dyer. Back up to Mullen. Back up top to James. Go around the circle. Hovey. Cross for Mullen. Mullen puts the hard shot in. That goes wide. And Mullen that's back over center.
You said around the circle almost. They cut off the low person there. Just as you said that. You said we're going around the horn, and then she passed it right off away from her. If they'd listened to you, probably would have went better. That's what I'm going to say. Hurricanes are going to look to pass around and kill off the 2 minutes here. Interesting strategy is they're leaving Dwyer down at the other end to make it a 4-on-3.
Christie coming back up. Hovey. Cross for Baker. Loose ball picked up by Hovey. Hovey, though, runs into a crowd. Loose ball picked up by Mullen. As Mullen passes over to Van Bilzen. Minute remaining in the power play for the Wolves as Van Bilzen waits for the rest of the offense to come out. Van Bilzen puts the shot in, but that gets deflected wide as Haas was heading right in. Dietrich turns around. Dietrich fires. That's high. Hamilton in off the rebound and a save there by Nagel.
Great opportunity right off the boards. Had a chance to put it in, but Nagel was up to the task.
Quick pass up to Baker. She slows things down. Baker trying to drive to the net. Baker in, turns, fires. Save there. So that came close. Davis comes up with it with a fresh 30 on the.
They can kill it off if they get this whole 30 here.
Davis able to roll off a check. Passes across for Garden. Garden has to take that one off the boards. Here's Garden. Back up for Davis. That's popped away by Dyer. Now Dyer coming back down as Haas is in behind the D. Dyer driving in. Dyer in with the shot and scores.
Wow. Just as the penalty expired, opportunity for Dwyer to go down, went across the net, taking a shot in her short side again, right by that knee is exactly where they're aiming. Both goals in the same spot. Excellent. Be able to have the two offensive players from the Wolves cross each other. The defenders had to readjust, and she was a half a second behind her, which gave Dwyer that opportunity to get her stick out and be able to make that shot and put it in the back of the net. So there's, I think the penalty expired as it went in the net there. So counted as a power play goal, and they'll take it. So first time the Wolves have had a lead in this game, but very eerily similar to last game where they were down 1-0 and came back in terms of a power play goal. So we'll see how the Hurricanes respond, but a nice goal there by Dwyer. I know they've been putting a lot of effort into it and really happy to be able to get that one.
No, she's got those skills with how quick she is on the stick and that. And then Cadence Haas was also in behind. I wonder if Nagel was having to keep one eye on her as well.
I really think it changed the defender because as she came across to go down low and Dwyer came, the defender stopped for just half a second to see who was taking who, which allowed her to just get that step ahead, be able to make it. I don't know if Nagel wasn't sure, but that was a really good shot. She put it right at the knee, so one of the hardest stops for the goalies to make.
Lorette driving in, right on the doorstep, shot. Egamino. Jollymore gets the rebound over to Egamino. I hope I'm saying that right. Egamino shuffles it back towards Lorette. That gets chopped down. Shot goes wide, and that goes up and out of play. Wolves ball, Hovey. Christie keeping an eye on her on the forecheck. As an interference on that.
That was silly there. She had already gone by her and then set a pick that was clearly moving. Tried to hit her. Should have just let her go. She was already gone and had the transition done. Oh, might get it back though. There it turns out to works out. Off Baker and over and back, so the Wolves are going to get another opportunity.
So the Wolves get a free ball in the offensive zone. Wolves here leading 2-1 with just over 10 minutes left in the second period. Hamilton holds up. Hamilton passes back for Van Bilzen, but a little overreach. Can Van Bilzen get it there before? No, it's over.
I thought she was hustling for that one. I thought she was actually going to make it there for a second, but it's too bad.
Egamino starting off for Halifax. Passes that across. Fresh legs coming on as Garden looking at Looking for that one at the top of the crease again.
Trying to get it in tight.
Haas battling there for the loose ball. Haas comes up with it, but she's stuck in a sea of green. As McPherson comes in the hut. Haas has to get rid of it. And again, Halifax able to knock it down. The 10 seconds expires.
Another 10 seconds. This period, they've had some challenges in the transition. It's where the Hurricanes are good, but they haven't come up with anything from it. So defense has been holding strong.
Davis brings it in for Halifax. Davis up top. Loses the handle. Cross for Lorette. That's Allison, sorry. Allison up for Baker. Baker up top. Baker looking for her lane. Has Hamilton blocking that. You got a penalty coming.
Yeah, that's actually going on the Hurricanes. When she set the pick, she set it straight at her helmet. And official Chris Susi saw that and called it right away. So number 14 came across to set a pick, but had her stick up way too high. Can't say that had anything to do with height because I think both of them are exact same height. So she came right up with her stick right at her head level and got her, where she's got to keep that down low. So she can't have that problem. But
so
Wolves want to capitalize on this.
Back on the power play. James passes over to Mullen. Mullen down low to Dyer. Dyer has a look. Dyer puts it across as Hovey, but couldn't quite get the handle on that. Jollymore comes up with it as Coffin ties up her stick. And Dyer scores!
Beautiful goal there. That was all about the pressure. Forced the ball on a turnover. So first play was beautiful. Pass to Hovey, made goalie go east to west. Loose ball in the corner. They doubled her, forced the turnover while they were already up the floor. And Dwyer, because they're on the power play, is able to wait, able to cause the turnover, pass it to her right in front, and able again, where'd she shoot? Right around the knee on the far side. That's 3 in the exact same spot. So definitely finding that. But situation, that all starts with a high pick. You're a man down, which means Dwyer can hold. She's able to hold in that situation instead of having to come back and cover. Hurricanes went up the floor, gave her that opportunity, and a great double in the corner to create a turnover by the Wolves. I know Dwyer's going to get credit for that, but I got to say the 2 in the corner that caused that pressure, that was all from them in that.
No, that was it was Coffin and I forget what the other number was there, but
Did
yeah,
it,
that was
beautiful job. And part of it was, you know, in minor lacrosse, we don't have this 10-second rule, whereas in junior we do. So part of a reason for having to get rid of it was she knew she was getting on the 10 seconds, so she tried to bring her stick up with one hand. Ball popped out, picked it up, and put it the other way. So Halifax has called a timeout here. Coach Curry hasn't seen what she's liked in this period, especially with 2 power play goals. So trying to reset the troops here and take a little bit of a different approach. I got to say that the Hurricanes' offense hasn't been bad. They just haven't been able to bury them. Martin's been up to the task, and they missed a couple nets. But even though it says 3-1, it seems more even than 3-1, I got to say. Yeah. I feel like it should be 3-3. But, you know, that's how the ball bounces sometimes. So advantage for the Wolves right now.
Literally. Here we go. Dyer comes up with a
Calling back over there. She got the ball in established position on the side, and it was the check that pushed her back. So it is a tight one, but that is part of the rules.
Yeah. Baker passes across for Egamino. Egamino up for Christie. Christie rolls back up top. Puts it across for Jollymore. Jollymore in tight. And up with the shoulder save is Martin. Baker turns, fires. That's blocked. As Hamilton hits it over. Hamilton trying to get a hold of that ball as she gets pushed in, and the fans
pushed on the back there, calling interference. Calling minor interference, no penalty on that. Coming down. You know, I know that looks absolutely, you know, when you look at it on the video, the officials are going to talk about it and see what they saw. But that's partly the players going in full force and running. Did get her on the back, so it could be a penalty they're discussing. But because she's going in full force and then gets a little touch, it's hard for them to be able to protect themselves a bit. But it isn't, you know, there's a right on the back in the corner is much worse than that. But they're discussing what they all saw to see if anybody saw it differently. But she did hit the boards in an awkward position extremely hard, as you could hear from all the way up here in terms of that. I mean, hopefully she's okay, which is the biggest key to this. Everyone's making sure on that. Right now we have possession for the Wolves in terms of that while the player's on the ground. She is moving, so positives in terms of that.
Yep.
Both trainers are out there with her, so that's it. She started to
Hopefully
get up, so that's just
the wind
good.
knocked out of her.
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping.
It is. I mean, when you hit those boards, and you're not expecting it because she was trying to slow down a bit, it's just it all of a sudden shocks you a bit. So I think that's part of it a little bit, but I'm sure she's a little tight. You can see her stretching it out a bit here. Hands over the head, trying to get some air in there. But good to see her walk off under her own power. That's the important part.
Yeah, that's the important thing. So Hamilton is walking off, and looks like they're going to do a draw at center.
So what's happened here is this was actually white possession, but because it's a white injury, it technically can't have the ball after an injury, so it goes to a draw ball. It's one of those rules that I got to say I don't love, but that is what the rule book says. If your player's injured, you can't have the ball.
You can't have the ball. Christie comes up with it. Christie looking for Baker. Baker in tight and just misses. Was that off the post?
No, that missed, but she had that corner open if she'd hit it.
Dietrich trying to drive out. Gets the pick from Hannerhan. Dietrich rolls over center. As Egamino. Dietrich looking for a pass. Gets over to Dyer. Dyer looking to come down the center. Dyer rolls, shot, and it's saved there by Nagel.
I got to say, I'm surprised the Hurricanes have been giving the Dwyer the one-on-one. I think that comes from Van Pelsen scoring so many goals that they're having to double her and leaving Dwyer open, which has given her the opportunities today.
Ball down low, and interference will be Davis will start off the Hurricanes. Davis looking to drive in, shot, and a save there by Martin. That gets picked up and sent down the floor.
Let me tell you, the Wolves are being so physical inside that the Hurricanes have to think every time they walk in there. So
Hovey
doing a great
picks it
job.
up. Hovey in tight, scores!
Ball that's just launched down the floor. Seemed like it's going nowhere. Hurricanes a little slow to get back. Transition, grabbed the loose ball, and came right across the front. So earlier in the game, she had made a similar move, but went all the way across and to her wrong side. This time she stayed on her strong side when she saw it. And I think Nagel thought she was going low because she's had three, dropped her shoulder, and she put it right over top of her. Beautiful shot by Hovey. Absolutely excellently played, coming right over the top there. That's exactly how Coach McNeil will say that's how he drew it up. But Hovey executed it perfectly.
So the Wolves send the Hurricanes back to center as Martin versus Allison. Battle for the ball. Picked up by Lorette. Lorette rolling in. Lorette in tight. And tries that over the shoulder and goes wide.
It's definitely where they're looking, over that top shoulder.
Lorette pass down low. Shot! No,
Thanks.
nice save by Martin. Got the arm up. Taylor right in tight. Taylor shot. Another save by Martin. And Van Bilzen picks that up. Right down.
Martin knows where they're going, so she already had her shoulder up there on that second chance there. So she knows that's what they're looking for.
Halifax coming back down the floor. Garden holds up as Haas comes after her. Ball goes in. Lorette looking to chase down that loose ball. Knocked free by Mullen. Ball comes in behind. James comes across. Lorette still, or that's Jollymore now chasing that down. Halifax comes up with it. Baker. James working against Baker. James doing a good job. Baker's twice her size. As
you can keep her out there. That's absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Taylor to Baker. Baker looking for the doorstep. To Davis. Back to Baker. That shot gets deflected wide. And that's picked up by Mullen, but popped free as they all collide.
Didn't have the ball there.
Yeah.
Clearly hit her going the Wolves' way.
So that's a minor interference. And
minor interference. I know the fans will say I don't like that. That's a hit. It is minor interference.
Yep.
The Wolves are being just as physical in their own end, and so that's kind of what happens. Well, now we've got one.
Oh, somebody said something.
Somebody from the Wolves unfortunately said something to the official. Can't do that. That's you're 4-1. Can't be saying anything right now. You got to just take that. I mean, watching that, I wouldn't call that more than minor interference either. Both teams are being physical. They want to let them play. It's unfortunate for the Wolves there.
So Halifax on the power play. Baker passes over to Taylor. Taylor back up top to Baker. Baker cross for Jollymore. Jollymore back up top to Baker. Baker down low for Davis. Davis looking for it. Oh!
That is so unfortunate. It was funny because the ball went down low. She started to move back up and tried to make the cross crease pass. I had said earlier that I thought Martin was cheating out a bit. The cross crease pass down low would go. She made the pass, and unfortunately the Wolves defender put her stick in the way to pick it off, and it hit the top of her plastic and went straight in the net. One of those unlucky bounces that happens in the game. You know, she made the exact right play that you should. You got to go to the bench. You got to shake that off and just not worry about it. It's one of those things that happen, but they finally got the ball low and able to knock it in off one of the Wolves players.
So it's now a 4-2. Ball gets popped loose as Allison runs onto it. Allison coming into the Wolves zone. Coffin able to pop that up free. Egamino passes across for Christie. Christie cycles up, gets Davis down tight. Nice save by Martin. Loose ball as Egamino will now pick that up. Egamino rolls up top. Egamino looks for Christie on the doorstep. That's quickly slammed. We got another penalty coming to the Wolves here as Davis.
A delayed penalty to the Wolves.
Comes up Davis. Pass that back down. Christie off the boards. Loose ball, and that's
got a high stick as she came in there in the middle. A couple got her. I'm not sure which one he's calling, but definitely got her in the head. So one of the interesting things here is when the Hurricanes are getting the ball, if they'd actually just shoot it, the net is wide open because it's coming from east to west. And instead what they're doing is catching it and running towards the middle where Martin already is. So she's actually getting in position from them running at her. If they just shoot when they go east to west, I think they'd have more success. But it's playing right into Martin's hands, and she's not arguing at all about it.
So another 2-minute advantage, 5-on-4. Baker up top for the Hurricanes. Over for Garden. Garden passes down low. Jollymore tries to get in. McPherson stuffs her. Lorette tries that over. And held out.
Tipped off the goalie's shoulder. I have no idea how that didn't go in, but players were there to make sure, and the official was right there. Great job by the Wolves D.
Brenna Hovey has dove in to keep that ball from going across the line.
That's where we need the behind-the-camera shot to see exactly how that didn't go in, but that was amazing.
Yeah. Everybody at home can see that.
Exactly.
Dyer pops it into the corner. As time ticks down, Davis for Halifax coming out of the zone.
That's one we're going to remember later. The 4-2 game that would have made it 4-3. That's a huge momentum shift there to be able to hold that out.
Taylor, under a minute left in the power play. Pass across for Baker. Baker for Christie. Christie cross. That's knocked down by the Wolves. That's picked up by Haas. Pops free is James. Oh my gosh. And the door open.
Oh, that's when you don't want that to happen because that can be an injury. You can see her grabbing her shoulder. I think she's okay, but that's scary. That's not something anybody wants to see anywhere. Have a door pop open when someone's running up the side. She looks okay on the bench, which is good, but yeah, we got to check those doors, especially out of the penalty box. Could have been open for a while.
So Hamilton. Egaminio keeping Hamilton to the outside. Halifax. Fortunate. Van Bilzen comes up with it, but Halifax right on her as well. Van Bilzen able to roll off. Puts a long shot in, and Nagel makes the save and holds on to it. As Nagel sends a long pass up. Picked up by Taylor. Halifax back on the offense. Goes across for Allison.
Back to even strength.
Comes in, chases down Allison. Allison rolls off. Allison trying to find a way in. Coffin will not allow it. Allison puts a long shot wide. As loose ball picked up by Lorette. Lorette puts the shot in, but the
Great
shot
kill
clock
by
is
the
running.
Wolves there, taking that 2 minutes down, staying up 4-2. That was a great kill by them. Great job.
Van Bilzen passes that up, gets through everybody, and picked up by Jollymore as Coffin tries to keep her in the zone. Pass up to Hope, bounces back as Van Bilzen looks to.
That's unfortunate. Number 11 there took a shot from number 8, turned and retaliated. Always call the retaliation, so she's going to go sit for 2.
So Hamilton heads back to the box. And the Wolves give Halifax another 2-minute power play here with 1:39 remaining in the second period. 4-2 is the score as Baker starts off Halifax. Pass over for Davis. Davis down low to Christie. Christie rolls out across to Igamino. Over to Baker. Hamilton pushing her to the outside. Cross. That's knocked down by Hart. As Halifax gathers that up, 10 seconds left in the shot clock. Pass goes high. Lorette tries to let down. James comes up with it. Glad to see she's back on the floor. James will fire that down the floor. And we're down to a minute left in the period. As Davis comes out of Halifax's zone. Halifax, the 5-on-4 advantage. Up to Jollymore. Jollymore hands off to Igamino, but she's got to play it off the boards. Igamino comes up with it down low in the corner. Igamino, pass back up to Lorette. Lorette, Halifax in motion. Shot, and saved by Martin. Loose ball coming around. And James fires that, but up and off the Raptors. And Halifax. Pass right up top. Nice job by Hamilton. That's back over. 19 seconds left in the second period. 4-2, Wolves lead. As Halifax still on the power play for another 39 seconds. They're calling for a water break, it looks like. Oh, the Wolves called a timeout. As KJ McNeil wants to discuss that, what's going on. So Halifax on the power play here. But we'll have should be Wolves ball in the Halifax zone. As the Wolves scored in the last minute of the first period. Is McNeil trying to draw something up to get a goal in the last minute of the second period? We'll see what's going to happen here in a few seconds. As Halifax discusses their game plan as well. Players come back to the floor. 19.7 seconds remaining in the second period. Where it'll be Wolves ball from the corner, I believe. And Hovey will start off for the Wolves. No, it's Dyer on the other side. Dyer. Passes to Van Bilzen on the move. She gets tied up. And Lorette comes up with it. Lorette passes up to Baker. Baker. Cross, shot, and Martin makes the save. As the buzzer goes, Martin stays strong. And after 2 periods of play, the Wolves lead 4-2 on a 3-goal second period. As all the players head directly outside as there's doors to the outdoors right behind the benches. Everybody going for a breath of air. As okay. So we'll take a break as well, and we'll see everybody back here in about 15 minutes. We'll see you then, everybody.
All right, we're back for a third period here, Larry. It's 4-2 for the Wolves. So here's what I got for the difference in this game. Number 71 for the Wolves, saving that goal that I'm still calling would have been a goal when she made the back check, passing it all the way up, and Van Pelleren gets one up here. And then the power play down low where it went on Martin's shoulder and rolled back and was going in the net. And I think it was Hovey who put her stick down to make sure it didn't get in. 2 goals right there, and it'd be a 4-3 game for the Hurricanes if it was the other way. So that's the difference in this game. Both hustle plays, both awareness and making sure they get to the spot. And, that's that when they talk about it in the Stanley Cup, talking about, you're not going to lose. Those are the moments that are the key ones. And I've seen that in the Wolves tonight. That's why they're up 4-2.
Oh, and we got just coming down to a minute here, and we'll be back on the floor. So Halifax, with a shorter bench, has their work cut out for them. What's your thoughts? What's Halifax have to do to?
Halifax is they're taking bad angles. They're coming in really hard on the corners, and you're not going to beat Martin from the bad angles. The other thing on the offensive side is when they're getting the ball, they're trying to work themselves closer, and they just need to shoot. They have the goalie already moving. That opportunity's there, and as soon as the Wolves hit them, they back up and they're going north. They're going north away from the net instead of south towards it. So they got to keep driving towards the net. If they make that change, I think they'll be successful. But the Wolves' defense has been strong today, as it was on Saturday night. So we'll see if they can come back in this one.
Well, here we go. Dyer versus Jollymore Dyer comes up with it, rolls off, but ball popped free. Halifax crashes down on her, and Baker picks up the loose ball, and Baker up over center for Halifax. Baker slows it down, setting up the offense. Baker passes over to Taylor. Taylor down low to Davis. Back up to Taylor. Up top to Baker. Back to 5-on-5. And Lorette in, scores.
Nice goal by Lorette there. That's exactly what I was talking about. He passed it right to Lorette and didn't wait to let Martin get set. Shot it right away, and Martin couldn't move over fast enough. This is where the Hurricanes have to stop trying to make those extra moves, catch the ball, and shoot. When it's coming across, it's almost impossible for the goalie to get over. And in that play, you saw that. It wasn't even from the far side, from the center. She caught it on the top and made sure she fired the inside post, and Martin couldn't make it over in time.
So it's now a 1-goal game.
This is going to be an exciting 20 minutes here.
As here we are, right back to center again. Dyer versus Jollymore. Dyer rolls it out, picked up by Baker. Baker coming down. Van Bilzen able to chop that one free. Baker follows the loose ball to the boards. Dyer watching her. The ball goes all the way in behind the Wolves net as Dyer has to send it down the floor. Now be picked up by Jollymore. Jollymore coming back in for the Halifax. Jollymore passes across to Taylor. Taylor over Baker. Baker rolls back up top. Van Bilzen keeping an eye on her. Van Bilzen able to pop it free. Taylor passes that to Lorette. Lorette, low shot in, saved by Martin. Back up to Taylor with a fresh 30. Lorette rolls back up top, being watched there by Hamilton. Makes the pass in. Jollymore turns and fires low.
2 quick goals within a minute 20 by the Hurricanes. Both of them passes across, no movement, catch, and shoot. That's exactly where the hole is. You cannot make a second movement if you're the Hurricanes. Catch the ball and shoot. Both of those times they did the same thing. They actually had set it up the play before, and number 17 for the Hurricanes decided to move towards the inside, which made Martin be able to make a great save down low. But when you don't let her get set, it's the hardest save for the goalie to make because they're moving and they're not set yet to be able to get to it.
So just like that, we're a tied game. 18:41 left as Hovey versus Christie. Battle for the loose ball. As Egamino, thank you, as gets the ball. Pass that over for Jollymore. Jollymore across. Shot in, saved by Martin. Picked back up by Allison. Allison passes back down low for Egamio. Dietrich able to pop it up. Dietrich in tight. Dietrich. It's a 4-on-1 there. And the shot goes wide. Picked up by Rayfuse. Rayfuse pass across. Gets Van Bilzen on the run. But
too many. So
men.
the Wolves changed a little early there, sending out the 5th man before she was off. Low referee saw that, called too many men, so it's going the other way. If you get that call on offense, it's a change of possession. On defense, it's a penalty.
Allison hands off to Jollymore. A little bubble. Jollymore gets it back. Coffin pressuring her. Jollymore. There's a quick back pass. Knocked down by Lorette. Lorette now. 12 seconds left. Shot! That's doesn't make it through. Hart working on that loose ball. To Haas. Ball still loose. Taylor comes up with it. Taylor. That's the shot clock expires.
Nice. It seemed bad that the Wolves didn't pick it up there, but with 5 seconds on the clock, it worked out to their advantage that the clock was running out. Great pressure by the Wolves. Nice block right in front so the shot couldn't get through, and then being able to kill the rest of the clock off.
Hamilton for the Wolves. Into the zone. Hamilton holds up, waits for the offense to come on. Hamilton passes up top to Mullen. That's Rosson. Long shot, goes wide. Picked up by Hamilton. Hamilton puts the shot. That's a save and
back in. Great job by number 71 there. Hurricane player picked up the ball outside. She just gave her a little tap, so she has to step in, and that makes it easy as a back in. So she had the ball outside the crease, went back in. Only the goalie can drag it in with her stick. Turns it back over to the Wolves.
Rayfuse puts it up top to Dyer. Dyer tries to roll in. Dyer runs into a wall. Rayfuse chases the loose ball down into the corner. Hamilton and Rayfuse fighting for that ball. Jollymore comes up to Hamilton. Hamilton for the Wolves, but that pops out of the basket. As Taylor runs on to it. Taylor coming down the floor for Halifax. As Hamilton able to pop it free. And now Rayfuse gets a
getting a delayed penalty
bump.
Coming here. Cross check on the back.
And Dyer will send that right up. I don't think she realized it was a delayed penalty.
Yeah, as she pressured there, she rode her on the back and then gave her the extra shove, which is what official Maurice Getz there saw, giving her 2 minutes. Both sides have had their power play chances, and the Wolves have been pretty successful on theirs, so we'll see what they draw up on this one.
Yeah, 2-minute penalty. Wolves on the 5-on-4 advantage as Van Bilzen walks in over Dietrich. Dietrich down low, back up to Dietrich. Dietrich back to Van Bilzen. In motion now, Van Bilzen looking for a lane, puts the shot, and that just goes wide.
She had Nagel going the wrong way, so she just hit that inside post. That was going in.
Baker up for Halifax, passes up to Igamio, but the 10 seconds expires.
No, not 10 seconds. Goalie stick there. It looks like I saw Nagel immediately start to try to fix her stick. I think there's a string issue at the bottom there. Usually, when the goalie has an issue like that, you're going to stop it as soon as possible. They had the ball, so there was nothing to lose in terms of a fast break. So referee Chris Susi blew that down. I got to say, Chris Susi is a goalie and senior, so anything with the goalie, he's blowing it down right away. No question about that one. So he immediately called that down. It did seem like a timeout, but it's an official's timeout for a goalie equipment adjustment. And it'll be still the Hurricanes' ball, probably right around the restraining line here as they get that opportunity. So I'm going to have to apologize to all the Wolves fans because I said you got to take those quick shots, and then sure enough, 2 quick shots happen right away and go in. So I don't know if Coach Curry was hearing what I was saying there, but I promise you I didn't go talk to her between periods. But obviously made a little bit of adjustment, saw something there, and able to get some quick ones. But I got to say, if I was Coach McNeil, I'd get Van Pelleren to go in and take some shots because she has Nagel's number tonight, and every time Nagel is leaning the wrong way that she's shooting it. So if she gets one to open shot, there's a good chance it's going in. So keep pushing on her. They do not get a reset of the clock. This should be at 25 seconds, so I'd start in there.
So Jollymore trying to come into the Wolves zone. Coffin and Dyer hold her up along the boards, chop the ball free. Picked up by Dyer for the Wolves. Dyer coming back over center. This slows it down for the offense. Dyer hands off to James. James pass across for Mullen. Mullen back to James up top. Over Hovey. Hovey puts it across for Mullen. Mullen back to Hovey, but doesn't connect. as the loose ball goes in behind. 4 seconds. Up top, Hovey puts the shot and just goes wide, and that could have been a good play there.
Well, it's actually a perfect play. They sent the shooter through, which made the defender go with her and then brought Hovey up. It was exactly there, just didn't quite connect on it, but overall the play was drawn up perfectly. As you see, they're trying to go east to west on Nagel. They got to make her move laterally.
Dyer looking for a lane. Dyer, Coffin on the doorstep. That gets deflected wide. Funny bounce off the stanchions, and Christie. Ball's got a mind of its own down there. As and the
it's a good play by the defender there just to get rid of it. Was bouncing around in the middle, didn't want to have time. Also a great play by the crease defender here. Coffin had a chance to try to put it over on the far side, but she got her stick in the lane.
9 seconds remaining in the power play as James comes up top for the Wolves. James has a look, puts the shot in, and that just goes wide. Loose ball. Allison picks it up, but Coffin able to chop it free. And Hovey. Allison looking to get, or Jollymore looking to get back in on that one. Egamio causing some issues. That's rolled across for Taylor. Taylor looking to catch Egamio. Bouncing ball. Baker coming back in on it.
I think Egamino will want that back. I don't think she realized how open she was in the crease there when she passed it across.
Egamio back up top looking for the doorstep. Does, and Taylor puts it away.
Again, I talked about it. Martin has to come so far out because she's a smaller goalie, and they cannot allow those cross-crease passes. There's no goalie that can stop that when you're going cross-crease and a quick stick in. That's not on Martin. The defender has to make sure that doesn't get there. And I'm sure she was a little tentative because last time she got it, she knocked it in her own net. So I think she was a little tentative on that one. But you really have to cut off that crease pass. If that goes down like that, there's no way the goalie can get back in front of it. Great vision by Egamino, and then a perfect one-timer on the crease. Halifax back with the lead, but still a long way to go in this one.
Yeah, 5-4. Halifax leads now on 3 quick goals here in the third period. As Davis coming in for Halifax. Davis in the lane. Chambers stands her up, and the shot goes high. Halifax again passes back up for Allison. Allison break to the doorstep. Oh my gosh.
And there's another one for the Hurricanes. Reached around Martin on that one. They're pressing the ball from the Wolves on defense, which is causing some people in behind, and the recovery is slow. So you could see there, she came out to the player in the corner. Ball came up to the top, and instead of sprinting back into position, she was a little bit slower, which allowed her to dump it down and go across. I talked about at the start, the key for the Hurricanes was they had to be in tight for those goals. Last 3 have been quick and tight. The Wolves have backed off being physical. They got to get back to their physical game. Just calm down for a second. Reset. They're still in this game. Lots of time to go. Get yourselves right back in it and get back to the physical team you are. I was wondering there. The Hurricane player went super early on that draw.
So Ava Lorette puts the Wolves, or the Halifax up 6-4 as Allison picks up the loose ball now. Allison sends it up. Van Bilzen knocks out down. No, Van Bilzen muscles her way over center. Van Bilzen. Little touch pass, but that's off a stick and out as Allison looks to slow down Hamilton. Giving Allison some trouble in Halifax trying to get out. Allison throws it down the floor.
Great pressure by the Wolves. Forced a turnover there. Good job.
Likewise, Halifax now standing up at the center line.
Got some screaming of free hand. She is not pushing off at all. She's holding her hand out there. It's got to be extended to be called.
Taylor able to pick that up. Taylor in tight. Taylor shot. Oh my gosh.
Oh, on the
Up
wrong side. Martin's going to want that one back. Defender rode her all the way. Started over here with the loose ball. The Hurricanes are really strong on just kind of staying outside and waiting for it to squirt out. Taylor had the opportunity on her wrong side. The defender was pushing her that way. Just kind of threw it up high, and Martin wasn't. I think she thought she was farther back in her net, and then when she went up, she thought she was right there on the bar, and she wasn't quite able to get that. I think that's one she'd like to have back. I know I say that. One of my buddies says, doesn't every goalie want everyone back?
Yep.
Either way, I think you all know where I'm going with that one. But it's been a bit of a run here from the Hurricanes. The Wolves got to get something going.
Okay, the Wolves ball as Dyer will start them off from center. Dyer gets a little bit of a pick from Dietrich. Pass across, pulled in by Hamilton. Hamilton puts the long shot in, saved by Nagel. As the younger Hamilton will pick that up. Mullen up top. Mullen trying to get around Egamio. Over for Hamilton. Hamilton again. Hamilton looking for a way in. Her shot goes a little wild and up out of play.
Just while the O was going there, the assistant coach had some talk with the defense and just keeping them motivated. Do your job. Focus on what you need to do. The offense will come through. So good to see that and keeping the positive going.
Garden hands it off to Lorette. Lorette slows it down. Lorette looking for the back door again for Davis. And a save there by Martin.
It's a big save for Martin. Had a few runs under there, needed to make that stop. Great job.
Davis back up top as Haas. Davis puts the shot in. Martin got a piece of that one. Loose ball as Chambers is fighting for it.
It's going the Hurricanes' way.
Halifax gets the fresh 30 as Taylor comes in with a shot. That goes wide and up and off the rafters. So it'll be Wolves' ball.
The Wolves seem a little tenderness on the loose balls. They got to make sure they're getting two hands on it and scooping it up.
That one's picked up by Lorette. Taylor back to Lorette. Can't hold that one. Taylor back up with it. Taylor passes across for Jollymore. Can't connect as Allison picks up the loose ball. Allison sends that down to Lorette. Lorette driving to the net. Lorette turns, fires. That goes wide. And the rebound back up and over down center. Jollymore will pick that up. 8 seconds left in the shot clock as Jollymore cuts across. Her shot high and out of play as well.
For some reason, the Wolves defense, they're not cutting off the high side. They're allowing them to come over the top, and that's where they're creating these scoring opportunities. It's just a little bit of footwork. Just need to be a little bit stronger on getting up on the higher side.
Ball goes out of play. It's Halifax ball as pass it in. Egamino starts them off. Pass over to Baker. Baker down low to Davis as Yetman shook her off the ball. Comes into Martin. Martin goes off her stick as loose ball in front as Haas will pick that up. Haas fired that up. Saw Coffin in behind, but pass didn't connect. Coffin in with a shot. And a save there by Nagel as Davis will pick that up and back down the floor as Garden comes in. Pushed to the outside by Hovey. Garden brings it back up top. Pass back to Baker. Baker. Hamilton trying to pry that ball free and does. Baker comes back up with the loose ball. 6 seconds left in the shot clock as Baker. Ball's popped free again. Christie can't find the handle. And that'll be a
good
Wolves
pressure
ball.
there by the Wolves. They still had their back end protected and really high out in the ball. You got to like to see that. I think that's going to motivate them on this shift here.
Now Dyer. Puts a quick pass over to Van Bilzen. Van Bilzen and tight shot. And a save there by Nagel. As ball comes loose to the boards. Nagel after it. They battle for that loose ball. Rolling ball picked up by Egamio. Pass down to Allison. Can't connect as Rosson will knock that away. Rosson comes up with it for the Wolves. Rosson passes it back up, but that's a loose ball as Chambers comes up with it. Taylor taking Chambers to the boards. Chambers shakes that one off. Chambers in low. Pass that across for Rayfuse. Rayfuse. Cross. Shot in by Mullen. That just goes wide and up and out of play.
Nice try there. That wasn't a bad shot. East to west, had Nagel moving. That's kind of shots you want to take.
Taylor brings it down the boards. Waits for a pick. Taylor hands it off to Garden. Garden in with a shot. Saved by an in tight. Rayfuse comes up with it. Rayfuse trying to shake off some hits. Passes that one up to Hannerhan. Hannerhan coming in wide. Hannerhan as Baker takes her right to the boards, pops the ball free. Haas comes in to help as an interference call will give Halifax the ball.
That was a close one. Ref saw it that way. Could have been a blocking out too, but they got to stay aggressive. They have to stay aggressive. It's what the Wolves do.
Lorette bringing it in. Oh, and we got arms up.
Yeah, wrap that arm around her there.
And a holding call.
They, as she was going in the middle of the back, number 21, Hovey came around and wrapped the stick around her to try to strip her, but then held it a little long, and you can't have both hands on her. The Wolves are always an aggressive team, but they're starting to get a little too aggressive right now and playing with that line. So I know you can see Coach McNeil is walking back and forth the bench. I'm sure he's debating about a timeout, but he only has one in the third. So, if it's a close game, you don't want to use it now, but you also need to make sure it is a close game. So it goes both ways. They're giving both goalies a water break right now. Obviously, with the temperatures, it hasn't been as bad as it has on the weekend at least, but it is still a warm one. So it's obviously want to make sure the goalies are hydrated.
So Lorette will start off the Hurricanes on a 2-minute power play here. As back up top to Lorette. Off to Jollymore. That pass goes across. Jollymore will play it from the side. Jollymore back up top to Lorette. Back to Jollymore. Jollymore puts the low shot in. That goes wide. That comes back.
So the ref, on the back over, the ref lets it go in case there's an opportunity for the Wolves to get a break there. As soon as it's all of a sudden not, like there's no chance for her to get a breakaway, he blows it down and gives it back to the Wolves. So there's really no risk, just an opportunity for them.
Van Bilzen passed that one up, and that goes out of play. So I think back to
Dwyer's going to want that back. I think she had an opportunity to get that before it went out and didn't realize that it was hers until it went out and then was like, oh. So I think she would have wanted that one back, unfortunately.
So Halifax back on the offense with 1:20 left in the power play. Mino to Young. Young puts the shot. That goes high. Lorette turns, fires just wide. As Hope. Loose ball picked up by Van Bilzen on the run. Van Bilzen. Mino able to hold her. Behind the back pass just out of James' reach. James back up with it. James puts it across for Coffin coming on. Coffin cross for Dyer. Dyer in with the shot just wide. Bounces back. And nice strip there by Lorette. And Lorette puts it over center. Coming in now. 36 seconds left on the power play for the Halifax. Lorette able to gather that back up. Lorette shot. That's blocked. Lorette across for Allison. Allison trying to rein that one in. Allison now puts a shot off the goalie's head and resets
awkward
the
angled shot that just got to reset and got the ball back. So can't complain with that play.
Egamino has the ball up top. Gets that one to the side. Nice save there as Davis had a hard angle shot.
We're back to full strength. Martin read that clearly. She saw that play earlier and skipped right over to the down low shot.
James stripped by Lorette as the ball's loose in the Wolves zone. Lorette pops it up and over. That's we're back to 5-on-5 as Van Bilzen.
Wolves got lucky there. They said Halifax picked it up. Obviously picked it up and then lost it right away, which reset the 10. But
now Davis puts it across to Taylor. Taylor looking to come out, loses the handle on it. Taylor passes up to Davis. Davis brings it into the Wolves zone for Halifax. Davis plays it back up to Christie. Christie cross for Garden. Garden. Pass went wide. Christie now off the backboards, driving in. Shoot. That missed and picked up by Rayfuse. Rayfuse now looking to come back down as Garden chasing her on the back check. Rayfuse gets over center, rolls off the check. Rayfuse looking to get the pass back to Dyer. Dyer looks to roll off. Held in there, shot goes wide, and Baker will pick that one up. Baker looking to catch Garden in behind. Garden all alone in on the breakaway. Garden makes a move, shot, and scores.
Nice goal by the Hurricanes. That is a completely unlucky play on the Wolves. So that's who was pressuring up here on number 71. She pushed her at the last one and fell over. The play went down low and happened to be a turnover right when she stood up and was already 3 feet behind anyone. to be able to get that breakaway away. A bit of an unlucky play on the Wolves. I got to say, in this period, it hasn't been bouncing their way, which has allowed Halifax to get that spread. But a nice move. Again, see Halifax, they're making the goalie move east to west. When you make them move laterally, they have to open up, and you get those opportunities for holes, which is what's been happening.
So back to center. It was Taylor versus Hovey, picked up by Chambers for the Wolves. Chambers brings it into the Halifax zone. Cross for Coffin. Coffin trying to find a way in. Coffin finds a lane shot, and a save by Nagel. Nagel passes that one up down the floor, but that's knocked down by Hovey. Hovey and the Wolves coming right back in. Over to Coffin. Coffin. Cross for Dietrich. Dietrich in with the shot, and just over the crossbar.
Beautiful play there. That just missed the net, but east to west, pick high coming around. That was excellent.
Dietrich back in again. Shot. Just missed again. And comes to Lorette. Lorette driven to the boards by Coffin. Lorette able to shake that one off. Lorette looking to come in. Chambers stands up, and Lorette able to hold that on. The shot went wide. No, fresh 30. Oh, yeah, that's Wolves have it.
Reset on that.
Yeah.
The Wolves are having to be over-aggressive, and this is where the Hurricane strength is. When you start to come at them, they start to find the holes. They like to play with the lead. I don't know who doesn't, but it's definitely been shown in this third.
Haas jumps up on that loose ball. Haas passes up for Hamilton. Can't quite make the connection. Hamilton against Davis into the corner as Haas comes up with it. Haas pass up. Van Bilzen off her stick. Van Bilzen collects the loose ball. Coming back up top. Van Bilzen in with the shot. And that's just up and over the crossbar as Hamilton will go in. Hamilton from the corner. Looking to catch Dyer right in. One-timer. And Nagel makes the save.
Huge save by Nagel there. Under 3 minutes to go to make that save is absolutely massive. So that's why she's one of the best goalies in the league with saves like that.
Ball comes up. Christie brings it in for Halifax. Under 2:30 left. And Christie passes across for Allison. Allison held to the outside by James. Looks like Halifax is just killing the as the Wolves have Dyer sitting right on the
trying to get a fast break there by holding Dwyer up. Seeing if they can get an opportunity for a chance there.
might catch
They got to move quick, so
Dyer in with another shot. Nagel holds that. 2 minutes remaining in the game. 8-4, Halifax leads on a big breakout third period as Jollymore heads over center. Halifax just looking to kill the clock here. The Wolves have to be aggressive.
They'll use the whole 30 with no shot and be fine with that. They've only got a few 30s left in the game.
Davis takes the shot, save. Baker able to come up with that loose ball. As Hart knocks the stick right out of the hands. And we back over center, so that'll be
Oh, I didn't see that behind the play. Obviously someone whacked her. Got 2 minutes for roughing, so down in the corner there was a Halifax player and a Wolves player messing up a little bit. Number 6 obviously got too aggressive. I don't know if she punched her or what she did, but called 2 minutes right away there. It's going to be Wolves ball in a power play. 1:27 to go. Not a lot of time, but exactly what you needed to get the momentum going.
So James brings in, pass across. Hovey turns, fires, and
Huge
scores.
goal by Hovey from the outside. So what happened there, I'm sure if you're watching the stream, you just saw the Halifax player scream to the bench. What happened there was her chin strap was undone. Referee told her as soon as your strap is undone, it's illegal equipment and you have to get off the floor, which made it into a 5-on-3, which created that extra hole there. And a beautiful shot by Hovey right over top of the defender. Had a seeing eye right for the top corner there. And Nagel didn't even get a chance to move on it. Beautiful shot. Nicely set up. A little bit of a lucky break, or unlucky break for Halifax and having the strap undone. But the Wolves will take it right back in it.
So power play goal. It's 8-5 now as Dyer looks to drive in. Dyer held up by a wall of green as Van Bilzen comes in looking to get that. Mullen comes up with it.
That's
empty net for the Wolves as it's Hamilton cross. For Dyer spins, but ball knocked out by Davis. And Davis as they head for the boards.
Yeah, and a little aggressive on that. She was definitely turned around, got her on the back. He's actually calling a boarding, which is 5 minutes. From that, away from the boards, dangerous area. You got to be careful. Dwyer really holds her stick out. I think in that opportunity when she spun on her on the crease, that's where she needs to bring it in because it took too long to reset to get back up in terms of that. But obviously, so we got a Hurricane player down. She is moving, so that's a good sign. I think again a little shook up on that one.
Yeah, I imagine there'll be the wind knocked out of her for sure on that one.
So yeah, it was a 5. Boarding is an automatic 5 minutes, so that's where he called that in terms of that. Boarding, bit of a danger area from the boards on the back as well. So given the 5 minutes in terms of that. She's getting up, which is great.
Looks like Davis is getting
Very
up.
positive, under her own strength. That was a tough one, but I'm glad to see her get up and feeling okay. She's still standing on the bench, so that's positive to see in terms of that. So it's going to be a 5-minute power play. My guess is that the Hurricanes are just going to use the whole 30 here and try to run this out with under a minute to go.
Yeah, up by 3 and on the power play.
The Wolves are going to be trying aggressive to get it back and be right on the ball as soon as it's passed.
So Taylor starts off Halifax. Jollymore back to Taylor. Taylor plays it down to Christie. Christie across for Jollymore. Jollymore takes a hit there from Hovey. But Jollymore able to keep that ball. And we got another penalty coming.
It's going to be a penalty to the Wolves there, but that started with a mistake by Jollymore. As the defender came up, the low offensive player in the Hurricanes was wide open. When you have a man up and you're trying to kill the clock, you should never get touched at all. Should have dropped that down, and she got knocked over. Lucky for her, the Wolves didn't get a chance at a breakaway there, but this is where you're playing keep away. You got to keep moving the ball.
So a second 5-minute penalty up on the board as Van Bilzen heads to the box.
Direct shot to the head, so 5 minutes if it slides up is 2. If you have a direct contact to the head and follow through is 5 minutes. So that's what the referee saw there, direct contact to the head with follow through. That's where the 5 minutes comes from.
So clock running. Halifax just happy to have a
second difference here in the time, but I think they're just going to let it run out here and
have a little chat. And so Halifax.
So another great game here. Last two have been phenomenal. The first one. So it looks like the Hurricanes are going to go back to Sackville up 2-1. Before this game was over, I was going to say that if the Wolves had won, the one part was they were up 2-1, except no one had won at home, and unfortunately they were going home. Now someone has won at home, and they're going home. So, looking to be able to respond back at home. I don't think anybody thought this series was going to be a quick one. So I called it from the start. I called 5. So we'll see we'll see how that goes. But the Hurricanes, after a strong third period, will be happy to go home up 2-1 in this series and heading to Sackville on Wednesday night. So next we're back on Wednesday night. It's going to be a great one. I want to see what Coach McNeil makes in terms of adjustments to this. And the Hurricanes, we'll see how they adjust to it. Had a great third period, good momentum, but it's a whole new game on Wednesday.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is I think the game was just a period too long for the Wolves as being up 4-2 after 2. The Hurricanes, for a short bench, showed a lot of fortitude coming back there and coming back that strong as well.
I was thinking of Space Jam there when Bugs Bunny comes out with the Michael juice. It's like someone gave the Michael Jordan juice in the intermission there. In the third period, they came out flying because they had a lot of energy in that third and were right on. I think 2 quick goals in a minute really energized them in terms of getting to that point. But we said at the start, even in the first, it was 3-1, but we thought it could have been either way. I think this is a very even series. I think it could go any way, any game. So I'm excited to see what comes on Wednesday.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for having me, Brendan.
Hey, I was glad that you were here. You're going to be doing Wednesday night, so we're excited to see that. It's going to be awesome. So I'm excited to check out that one as well. It's going to be a great game.
All right. Well, thanks, and thanks to everybody at Maritime Athletic Profiles for doing such a great job.
Thanks, guys.
The camera and everything. And we'll see you, and we'll see everybody else.
We'll see everybody on Wednesday night. It's going to be a great one. You don't want to miss it. Have a great night.
Thanks, everybody.